Hey y'all. So Sunday morning has become quickly Tuesday morning. Or Sunday night has become Tuesday morning. I don't know. Our timing is different than other people's, I can tell you that. Because we looked up and said, my God, it's 7 o'clock, like almost half the day's over. Different view. When you don't sleep much, or you don't sleep like everybody else sleeps. Anyway, so here we are again with the book, which I have a nice cute little light on now that my sister sent me, but it's called The Trauma of an American Education. If you have not seen this before and you haven't subscribed to the channel, you might want to do that, because I don't post everything and I don't send things out anymore to people, because I'm crazy busy trying to make enough money to make ends meet. And when I say ends meet, I literally mean ends meet. We got hacked last week when we got our Social Security disability check, which is what we have if we haven't sold any cards, that's it, or art or anything. So we're still trying to build, and we're still trying to do what we need to do and have enough food and all that, but I don't know. I think if everybody lived at this level, layer, or something like that, so many people would take so much less for granted. We can't afford to take anything for granted, except your support, which is sweet. We don't actually take it for granted. We just really appreciate it. Anyway, we're in North Carolina, down there in the Great Dismal Swamp, and we're working with these kids. We worked with them, they did their gig, and now we're getting called into the principal's office, and we're pretty sure on our way there, since we don't have a great view of ourselves, that we're about to be fired, because why wouldn't we be? We're in public school, they don't want us. You know, this light isn't really necessary right now, so I'm gonna ditch it. Play with it later, because it's got all kind of features. And I will move this lamp so this is a little closer here. Hope to be able to see out of the glasses that don't work anymore. Now I lost my spot. Okay, here we go. So I'm ushered into the principal's office. An old jock, the principal had a large case of the school athletic trophies in a glass enclosed case lining one wall. We were interrupted by the coach before we got started. Coach is the designation one receives in a school district after years of proving oneself as the boys' football, basketball, track coach. Girls are less important in our society, and therefore girls and women's coaches rarely reach the notoriety and respect their male counterparts receive, nor the economic equivalent, but we all know this now. Sometimes, whilst teaching courses full-time, the coaches would sometimes be also teaching full-time. It is akin to being designated a living patron saint. As proof, Coach had just interrupted a meeting without any warning, and our meeting was immediately put on hold when he entered. You don't keep God waiting. I sat down. The principal was happy, which threw me off. I sat confused, waiting, uncertain. He conversed intensely with the coach about something that had a seat in his fancy black office chair behind his rather ornate wooden desk. When I looked up to try to gauge how bad it was, he was smiling back at me, beaming even. He pushed a piece of paper across the desk toward me and sat back to beam further. I reached for the paper and read tentatively at first, then confused, more uncertain, as though perhaps I had stepped into an alternate universe. I read the paper, then looked up to his face to read what was there. What matched? Not my uncertainty, that was sure. The paper had told me I was to receive an award certificate from the school board for outstanding service. It was evidently a big deal in a small district. Its only benefit which I didn't necessarily see as benefit, was to appear before the school board all gussied up and listen to them say nice things to us about me without running screaming from the room. Receive a useless piece of paper, say nice gratuitous things back to them, and then leave. Not my cup of tea. I would have been happy to keep operating quietly, just the kids and their old hippie teacher under the radar. This on the radar thing was very, very new to me, and I didn't trust any of it as far as I could spit. But I quickly learned the benefit of being on the radar, and it was a benefit that the students could realize immediately. For I discovered we could now essentially do whatever we wanted, within reason, of course. And this is when I also learned of my added value to the administration and the return for the students. I made the administration look good, and I wanted no credit. In fact, I would have preferred to be ignored completely. Attention from the authorities was not something I had been wired for. This meant, therefore, that my superior officers, which is how I referred to them for no good reason, got all the credit, which they loved, absolutely loved. Lapped it up like thirsty dogs, I tell you. I had discovered the ease with which one may maneuver through an ego-driven world if one was more happy to check one's own. And if one isn't concerned with acquiring anything as far as money or awards or credit, it means whomever you are really working for, the children, the mentally ill, the elders, the immigrants, they win. They benefit. There's a very immediately obvious economy to it all. A simplicity and purity that cuts through all the fluff and fat in any system. I don't know that I'm going to go into this at this point. I think I'll save this later. This is the next piece is a thing that happens in the teacher's lounge, which is hilarious. So I'll save that for you and put it on the next one. Maybe in a minute, maybe in a month. Listen, subscribe. I don't know what happens when you subscribe as far as it relates to anything in that world, but I do know that if you subscribe, when I post something, when I turn it into a YouTube video, you'll get it right away, and then you can either ditch it or watch it or listen to it or whatever the heck you want to do with it. And I really appreciate, folks. I appreciate you watching. Let me know you're watching. Just like click or something. I don't know how. I can see how many people have viewed it. Also, I really love the comments, and I respond to every single one. So if you want to ask me anything about any of this mess, really, not just what I'm reading, but my off-the-cuff crap, anything like that, I'll respond. I may not divulge everything you wish that I would divulge, but I'm pretty open about everything. Because I believe it gives other people permission to be true and open about who they are. So, anyway, we love you. We care about you. We send you so many moments of tiny, tiny moments of joy today. We hope you get them. Cheers.